time. Now, I'm going to talk with my young brothers on Friday because we're really going to talk about the things. Because if there's one thing that's plaguing our youth, is none other than these sensual and sexual sins and all this other stuff. It's killing our young people. So on Friday, I'm going to get a chance to talk with them, and we're going to talk about really important practical things. I'm going to talk to the young people about greeting one another. Sometimes we can get ourselves in trouble by how we greet people. Once my wife and I knew that we had precious little daughters, we said, okay, we're going to have to teach them and educate them on how to greet folks. Because today you see young people, they see each other, hi, how you doing? And they just hug each other. And here it is that front is touching front. And God wired our bodies that when certain parts of the body touch, our bodies start having reactions. You understand that? God wired us that way. So what we're supposed to do is make sure those reactions don't take place until the right time. So here it is that we had to teach our girls and our boys. When you see a young man or a young lady, when they come to you, Jada, Kayla, how are you? You go ahead and number one, you take a step back and say, hi, how you doing? Listen, in our homeschooling with our children, we teach our children, we have a class called etiquette. And in the etiquette class, the children have to learn how to greet people, how to sit at a table, etc. And one of the things we do is when that brother comes and he's coming to rush and hug her, then because the girls can get scared. They're like, oh no, he's going to try to hug me. I know I'm supposed to stop him, but I can't. He's coming too fast. So then one of the easy ways to do it, just take that step back. Hey, how you doing? And that'll slow him down. And then you go ahead and do that handshake. Or if the individual comes to hug you, you give them the A hug. That's when your body, your body's like this. So it looks like the letter A. Get that? How are you doing? Good to see you. Practical lessons. You give them side hug. Hello, how are you doing? You're both on the side. How you doing? Good to see you today. Because believe it or not, it's the inappropriate interaction between youth that literally results in teen pregnancies outside of marriage. The best way to cut down a tree is by its roots, brothers and sisters. So God gives us wisdom. So there's a lot that I really would love to talk about on really practical ways to really get victory over this adulterous thing. We would get into dress. I long for the day that a forum can be set up that we can talk about dress reform. This is one of those subjects that is rarely touched, but it needs to be touched because we are told in volume 4 of the Testimonies to the Church, page 467, it says obedience to fashion is pervading our Seventh-day Adventist churches and is doing more than any other power to separate our people from God. That's a quote. Now, either that's a little old lady from the 1800s with a third-grade education who said that, or that's the testimony of Jesus. We have a lot that we need to talk about when we're dealing with this thing of adultery, but I'm here to let you know that if we can at least let God begin to purify our imaginations, if we can begin to make a covenant with God, I will only dwell upon that which is holy. Video games with all of those naked women running across on the video game. Parents, you got to put a check on that stuff with your children. Movies and videos and you got to make a covenant like Job did with his eyes in Job 31. I made a covenant with my eyes that I will not look upon a woman to lust after her. That's Job 31 and verse 1. We got to make a covenant. I'm not going to look at anything that will bring me and pull me into this path of temptation, which leads to adultery. There's much that I could say more, but it's imperative in these last few minutes we have together that I transition. Because while God wants us to get victory over adultery, and he really does, saints, we have to understand that the word adultery